Hey, how's it going? This is your boy Otis Smith with Interruption Podcast. Coming up next, we got a treat for you guys. We got the legendary band Confunction coming up. So we're gonna have a sit down and talk about some old times and talk about their journey and how they saw music when they were in their prime. Please make sure you go to my YouTube channel. You go to YouTube, you type in Otis, Otis. A as in Apple, Smith, and the number three. That's Otis A. Smith and the number three. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, leave your comments and let me know who you would like for me to interview. And I'll see if I can get a hold of them and make that interview possible for you. Coming up next, the legendary group, Confunction. Welcome to another edition of Interruptions. I'm your host, Otis Smith. Today I got another treat. I got a band legend here. Y'all see my backdrop to the left and under me. I have Michael Cooper. I have Mr. Felton on the trombone, the keyboards, Mr. Michael Cooper on the guitar. You know them from songs like Gotta Be Enough, Straight from the Heart, Chase Me, and they iconic song Love Train that a group by the name of Silk Sonic remade. I love it, but I still love the original the best. Confunction. How you fellas doing?
All
Doing
right,
great.
great, man. Everything's cool.
Great, great, great. Mr. Cooper, you probably don't remember. I spoke to you about 2 years ago over the phone, and
Okay,
we were trying to set this interview up before you guys came to Atlanta to the Maple House. And
okay,
I was telling Felton that when the Barcades were up first and they were complaining about the sound, Felton came out and he was sitting at my table. He was sitting at my, but we didn't recognize him. He was just sitting at the table, I guess, checking out the sound, making sure that the sound and everything was okay. So when you guys came on stage, I looked at my wife. I said, "Man, that was sitting at our stage. Oh, we done missed the photo op and everything."
ooh,
So thank you for coming on the show and blessing me, you guys, with your presence. We don't take it lightly, and I appreciate it. Um,
okay.
Our pleasure, man.
my first question for you guys: how did the name Confunction come about? Did y'all choose it because it was something different, or where did the name come from?
Well, the name was we were ordered to change our name from Project Soul by a small company that we were trying to sign to in Memphis. What we had under our belts was the fact that we had played for a group with a group called the Nightlighters some
Okay.
15 years prior. And the Nightlighters are famous for the song, the instrumental hit KG.
Okay.
And these guys appeared at a Unity Festival in Sacramento, and they actually performed earlier in that day as a five-part horn section. They had performed the song at the pool in a rehearsal. Later that night, when we all came to the concert hall and they got up and they played and they backed the main ingredient. They were the backup band for the main ingredient, so they opened up
Okay.
with a song. And they told everybody that the name of this song is spelled CONFUNKSHUN, Confunction. And they took off and they played this song, and that song stuck in our heads. We were so impressed by it
Okay.
that down the road, when we were asked to change our name from Project Soul, that was the first choice, Confunction.
Well, you guys didn't have to worry about nobody stealing that one. I mean, that's original. I remember
Yeah,
I remember as a kid the little 45 record, and my dad had it. It was like Confunction. I was like, come on, what is that? It was just throwing me up. What is? Until started to play the music. Then I was like,
yeah,
oh, okay, that's our people. Oh, okay, okay.
yeah,
So
yeah.
we was all good then. We were good to go. How
Yeah.
did how did you guys come up with your sound, the Confunction sound? How did you come up? What is that comprised of?
Wow.
I'll
Uh,
let you take that one.
it is it's my theory that every musician is consists of bits and pieces of all the music that he's heard and absorbed before, right?
Okay.
So we spent how many years back? What, 4.5, 5 years as a top 40 band, right? So we had all of that going for us. So that every song, every single song that we learned by somebody else now became part of our repertoire, part of our, I'll say, musical vocabulary, right?
Okay.
And so we, of course, were big fans of Bay Area legends, Sly and the Family Stone,
Yes.
uh, Power, and then once we moved down to Memphis, um, that whole stack scene. Michael and I had a chance to work over at Stax Records as studio musicians, right?
Okay. Okay.
And so there was all this music that we were absorbing was now available to us when it's time to write original material. So that consciously or subconsciously, we're able to pull bits and pieces of songs that we already knew. And so when we filter that through our own individual talents, that just basically became our sound. A little mixture of this, a little mixture of that.
But yet still not sounding like anybody else.
Right.
Which is
Right.
hard today because today they want that they try to make everything cookie cutter instead of not understanding the fans respect originality. That when a group or solo artist doesn't sound like anybody else, that's what we appreciate because that means you guys worked hard at your craft, not only playing as a musician and writing, but also making sure your production and your sound is not like someone else's. So I miss those days. uh Speaking of
I,
misses, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I'll finish that. One of the very cool things about and it's almost in contrast to
Uh-huh.
what you just said, right? That one of the compliments that we were always getting as a top 40 band was, quote, damn, y'all sound just like the record, right? Right.
Uh-huh.
But
Mhm.
Michael has such a unique voice, right? So that even if we were playing a Ohio Players record
Right.
exactly like the record, it's Michael's voice,
Correct.
right? And so hearing that, that's that whole thing that makes the difference.
And you guys did that in concert. I don't know if it was the Ohio players. I forgot who you guys were playing. Uh I don't know if you guys were still checking out the sound or y'all were just having fun, but y'all went into some other artists' music, but man, y'all was killing it, man. Y'all was killing it so but y'all was killing it, man. I mean, that's what was really impressing me about you guys is the your musicianship of being able to just play, to just play.
And
Uh,
that you got to have that, man. If you're going to be a live band, you're going to be a performer. A person that's going to draw people in through a door, pay money, and come see you. You
mhm,
got to be not only prolific on your instrument, but you got to also, your body language, your connection with the audience, your eye contact, your banter with the other members. It all comes together for under the heading of entertainment. And so we sort of created our own college by going to Memphis and backing up the Soul Children and playing in the Bennett
mhm.
in clubs Rosewood and the Cobra's Bite and all these different clubs because we basically made up our own college. We could make that eye contact, we could do that choreography, we could play that music, we can make the mistakes we should make on the in the clubs where we can clean those mistakes up in rehearsal, and when we get on the big stage, that we're polished. So it's just one of those things, man. We went to school from say 72 to roughly 77, 78 and graduated into Polygram Records and fun, fun, fun.
Man, y'all was killing it. What was the vibe like for you guys? When you guys were in your prime? Like, you got music on the radio, you're touring, people want to see you. What was the vibe? What was the scene like for you guys at that time?
The vibe was girls, girls, and more girls. And then on the side we pick up a little money. We pick up
Pick up
a
a
little
little
money as
pick
we
up a little
go.
money on the side.
Yeah, yeah. It took a while before it turned the other way around, where we say, well, let's get money, and if the girls happen to come along and we can keep it from a wife, that's one thing. And as we begin to get older, it was all about the money.
Yeah, when you get it, you start realizing what's important. Yeah, when you get older, you start realizing what what's important. Uh, and to what Felton said, Mike, you do have a very distinctive but unusual voice. You don't know how many times I've tried to sound like you, li listening to you the music. It can't. Now I sound like you while the music is playing. It's just when the music stops.
That's a very interesting observation, because I was telling Felton, please use your in ears, put on the in ears. And basically, what I've been doing over the past, say, 5 years, just prior to COVID,
Hmm.
uh, I've been wearing in-ear monitors, and I found that the in-ear monitors not only help me stay in tune and
Okay.
help me correct myself, but I found I don't have to sing as loud. And basically, all I have to do is get 2 inches away from the microphone, uh, and do an imitation of Michael Cooper. And that's all I got to do. Instead of me yelling and screaming and hollering and trying to belt, all I got to do is imitate what I sound like on the record, and then let the mixer do the rest.
Let the mix it, so you just imitate the younger you.
Yeah, I just imitate Michael Cooper, and I know I'm putting enough air behind it because I'm hearing it in my ear. And when it's right, then I let the mixer put it out there to the audience. Because without them in ears, man, I'll be yelling on the microphone. I'm just yelling.
I got you. Was the was the music business what you guys thought it would be when you guys got signed and started touring? Was it what you thought was the music industry what you thought it was, or you had to start learning some lessons?
Hmm.
The music business was introduced to us like a baseball bat. I, I our naivety, uh, it actually kind of worked out in our favor. But when we first started um, playing music in Memphis, we were invited to go into this recording.
Hmm.
No, we had to go in the recording studio to record a track for a performance that they were going to do for a TV show. We thought we were going to be playing live. They're like, "Oh no, no, no! You're going to be lip syncing to a track, right?" So
Hmm.
we hadn't done any recording, so we had to go into a recording studio to record the track for the song that we were going to be performing on TV, right? So we found this recording studio on Park. It was the corner of Park and Highland. Right? Was that
Yeah,
it?
yeah, it's hard to remember.
Called Audio Dimension.
Okay.
And after recording the track, the guy says, "Wow, you guys sound great," and he invited us to come back. And kept inviting us to come back and do more recording, right? And so we did. We recorded 7, 8, 9 songs, right? And
Okay.
he says, and then one day he finally says, "Okay, gentlemen, we need to be talking about the bill."
The bill.
Uh, Bill, you never mentioned anything about money. we got to pay for this. Oh, of course. How about your bill is currently, around $10,000. $10,000 back in 1974. We're talking about a quite sizable
Right.
amount
That's
of
some
money
money. That's some money.
for some guys who were just in the top 40 band, right? So, oh, you don't have $10,000. Well, I just happen to have in my other pocket a recording contract where
Ah.
you you get signed to me. I basically own you exclusively for blah blah blah. Yeah. So I know, especially for me, that was a hard slap in the face of the music business, right? Because up to that point, because then now we have to go hire lawyers, blah blah blah. As goes said, that concept of doing music just because it's fun, that went away
That went
for me
away.
on starting on that day. Now I still love performing, still love playing the music, but I'm constantly aware that that music, the fact that it's called the music business for a reason,
Right.
was now embedded in my brain. Is now part of my everyday thought process. This is a business. You have to treat it like such, or you'll get eaten up by the sharks.
Wow.
And Otis, we prevailed on that court date. We were lucky enough to we had a wonderful attorney named Mr. George Brown,
Okay.
and we drew a violinist, I think a first or second chair violinist for a judge.
Wow.
And yeah, he's an old white guy, and he had just happened to be a violinist. And he's politely, after a couple of days in the little trial, he told the guy, "Well, I'm not letting you tie these boys up. You can keep the music, but these boys out of their contract." And off we went to Mercury Records.
Look at God.
Yes, yes.
He'll do it every time. He was orchestrating that thing. It's sad, but like you said, it's you have to be about your wits learning the business because whatever it is that you're doing, because you come in and you're doing something because you love to do it, but then you don't realize there's a business component to it. Um, for you guys, because I've heard many musicians say this, but for you guys, does the business side sometimes take away the enjoyment of what you fell in love with the music?
I like to think of it as a, an ongoing, constantly changing, line of work, because not only does music itself change, but the
Mhm.
music business change, and then in comes the internet. So, when the internet came in, we were just kind of, still hanging on to the old ways, the term going into the studio.
Right.
So once the term MIDI, and you had programs, you could actually have a studio the size of a closet.
Yeah.
Uh, I've seen Felton do things with a laptop that used to cost us $225 an hour in a studio. So the music started to quickly, and I mean quickly, change. Drum machines, drum machines are all the rage. The 808 turned
Hmm.
out to be the most sexiest drum machines. It completely captivated women. Women love the 808, and they don't even know what it is, you know? So after a while, we began to slowly transition from the guys who went into the studio with the 2-inch reel
Hmm.
machine to
Hmm.
guys who could actually have home studios, digital home studios. And then, of course, now today, the studio is wherever you are. You can have a studio on your phone, right?
Right.
And release the doggone record on your phone. So it's just unbelievable how long we've been in the business and been able to see it from A all the way. We haven't got to Z yet, but we've been in the music business long enough to tell anybody, hey, listen, this is what's happening today. This is how we did. And people ask us all the time, how did you guys get started? Oh my God. We never have time to answer that question.
That's why I didn't have it as a question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like if I tell you how we got started, we need to set aside about 45 minutes to an hour on what I just went over with you with our trials and tribulations in Memphis. One of the things I would like to throw into the interview, if you guys don't mind, is that
No, no problem.
bands have to overcome themselves. You can be the best musician, you can play your
Right.
acts, but you got to overcome yourself. And what I mean by that is you got to get past alcohol and drugs and sex addiction. Because some people, they go out and make all these hits, and them hits go straight up their nose or straight into their arms, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or straight into a whiskey bottle. And it's a waste of talent, time, money, and everybody else's time. And when people nowadays, if I'm lucky enough of a kid to walk up to me and say, what should I do? How do I get started? The first thing I tell them is, you go to school. Never stop going to school. Once you leave your school, you go to a college. You don't have to be a major university, but you continue your education and
Right.
make sure you practice your acts and ask questions about your instrument of choice, and constantly get good at it. And at some point, you'll discover that you can either record yourself or someone will be interested in recording you. Then there's live. Never be afraid of the fact that you may only have a live career. You may never have a hit record. People play football all the way from junior high all the way up to
Yep.
college and never see the pros. Okay.
Never see it.
So you may never get a recording contract and make a record, but so don't be afraid to play live. So that's what I tell them now, man. And then there's the internet. You can start your own record company because somebody is going to stream it, download it, or listen to it somewhere. I don't care if they're in China. I don't care if they're in Germany, wherever. Somebody's going to hear that piece of music and they're going to sit through it and listen to it.
You're right about that. You are most definitely right about that. Because every time I ask, you know, where are the confunctions, the funk, the R&B artists, and people always tell me they out there. You just have to find them.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
They're out there. You gotta find them. And I always say, look, man, I ain't got time for all that. Now I ain't got time. I need to. Somebody got to bring me something. But there are artists. I just miss. I think what I really miss is, and you guys could attest to this. I miss that time period because people. It seemed like people were different in that time period. That's that's why I say like when I saw you guys in concert, it was so cool because everybody had a great time, and then afterwards, everybody just got in the car and went home. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that was
Yeah, you mentioned something earlier before we got into the music business of the success level for Confunction. And I spoke to somebody today I spoke to our present record company executive today, Mr. Jarrett, and I spoke with him, and he asked me a similar question. He said, "How did you guys navigate the transition of music when it was time to make that change and get
mhm.
join the modern society of music?" And I told him Confunction was blessed to have a Felton pilot who was always going to be on top of the latest technology no matter what. We never had to worry about being behind the 8 ball on certain keyboards, certain guitars, certain programs, anything that was complicated and needed to be solved. We had Felton pilot, so we wasn't worried about that. My job was to keep my ear to the street and make sure that we had a street record. Fun,
Gotcha.
fun, fun. Shake and
Yeah.
dance with me, chase me. All that had to be, you had to have a street record. And so you combine Cooper and Pilot with those two things, right? And we have almost two different types of our liking for music is extremely different. And when you bring those two together, you get a Got to Be Enough or a Love Train, right?
Well, I got your next title. I got your next title. Y'all don't even, Michael. You don't even have to sing on it. You don't even have to sing. Y'all can just play because we gonna play off Felton's last name. You know what you just said, Pilot Flying Cooper. That's what we gonna call the next single. You know what I'm saying? Flying Cooper. There it is right there. There it is
Well,
right there.
yeah, you ready for your socks to be knocked off?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
All
that's
right.
it, right? I'm trying to get Felton to give me some free uh uh keyboard piano lessons.
All right, thank you.
You know, I did say free, just in case you didn't
Yeah.
hear me. I'm
I,
gonna say it
I,
one more time. I'm just saying, Michael, don't start negotiating, Mike. Don't start
All
negotiating.
right, I
I
won't
know
start
that's your boy.
negotiating.
I
All
know
right,
that's
I
your
don't
boy.
negotiate. I ain't gonna negotiate. Hey, but listen, hey, Felton, check this out. My Jackson, I got a piano in my little studio, and it stays up, ready to go all the time. I just turn it on. Jackson went up to the piano and he was tinkling around on it. And I said, "You see those two black keys right there?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "You see that key right there to the left of the first black key?" "Yeah." I said, "That's letter C." I said, "Play letter C." And he hit it. I said, "So where do you think C, what's the next letter after C? D." I said, "Where do you think D is?" He went to the next key, D. I said, "Where do you think E is?" He went to the next key, E. I said, "Can you play C and E together?" He took both hands and played a chord. I say, "Now here's the next one right here. This is the letter G, right?" So I say, so we counted them up, C, D, E, F, G. I said, "Can you play the C, the E, and the G all at the same time?" And he played a triad. And you should have seen the look on his face.
Wow.
You should have. I mean, he looked at me. He said, "I can play the piano." I say, "Well, almost." I say, I say, "You keep going up from C, and then when you get up here, it starts all over again. C again." Man, that dude picked that up in probably 48 seconds. He could play a C scale.
Amazing.
Wonderful.
Amazing.
That freaked me out, man. That really freaked me out. I just thought I'd break from the interview and let everybody enjoy that.
But what Felton to tell you didn't get a chance before. I say the interview goes where y'all take it. I'm riding shotgun. I'm riding shotgun, so it go where you take it.
Yep, 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 yep. But guys, I'm really excited right now, and again, not to hijack the interview, but
No, go
I'm
ahead.
really, really, really excited about what's coming next for Confunction. And of course, the name of the new album that we're going to be putting out in probably about 60 days is called Smooth Jukebox, or not, I should say, just Smooth Jukebox. But on that album, and I've been and peeping the anchors and the foot weights on Felton for almost 2 years, because Felton created something that's gonna wind up being our next single. And I have a tendency to call it the first single of the year and the first single of the new album, because we're in a brand new year now.
Right.
And we're gonna be kind of like going, okay, should we let the cat out the bag or should we keep it a big secret? So anybody who can actually guess what the next record is, only thing I can say, it's a cover song, somebody else's song. Now you tell me, Otis, who would Confunction record right now?
Talking about who else you guys could play?
Yeah, I'm just saying, if you were to guess, which person or group would grab a song from and record?
Oh, the first thing I got two, but the first that's popping in my head would be Earth, Wind, and Fire.
I'll give you one hint. You started the show by talking about it. See?
Oh dang! Hold on. I started the show talking about them.
Yeah. Yep.
The Barcades.
Nope.
Cameo.
Nope.
Oh, Silk.
Yes, indeed.
Silk Sonic. Silk Sonic. I just thought about it. I just thought about it. Silk Sonic.
Yep.
Hold on. Wait. Let me just ask this. Hold on. Let me just say, is it a up tempo beat or is it a slow?
Slow.
Okay.
Mid tempo.
No, only reason I say because one of their songs I can see y'all. Ooh, I can see y'all. Ooh, because y'all play. I can see y'all that the song fly like me. Ooh, boy, I can see
you trust me, you're in the ballpark. And what I convinced the record company to do is to kind of go along with us with this secrecy. But when we get cats like yourself who go out of their way to get us on the microphone, right? Then at some point, and our publicist was saying, at some point, Mike, you're gonna have to say who it is. So right now, I can tell you, Confunction's next single is going to be a Silk Sonic remake.
A Silk Sonic remake. Okay. I can see it. I can see it.
It is the bomb.
I could, man, you guys, let me tell you something. As much as I watch, I don't know how much I'll do, but I'll go and I'll put like Confunction, then I'll put like First Reaction, right? Because it's another generation that's discovering you guys' music. And when they get the Love Train, and they do you guys and they do Silk Sonic, they like I I, I hear the women always saying, okay, yeah, Silk Sonic, that was good, but this right here, this something different. This and it's the time frame you guys recorded that in, the vibe, the soulness of it. I understand it because that's my era. I understand that. Hey, I'm gonna throw this word out for you. Y'all probably gonna start laughing. See, when y'all made that song, when you was singing that song, Mike, that was that Chappelle era. See,
Champagne.
yeah, that's that Chappelle era. That the women drinking that Chappelle.
I remember champagne. Champagne and a mixture of champagne and beer.
Yeah, yeah. Playing playing spades on a Saturday night. That's
Yeah.
that yeah, see, I know about that era.
Right.
Through you guys ups and downs in the music industry, where did you guys find your peace?
Mm.
Find
Celtic
peace.
peace.
I've I for me,
Mhm.
right? Once we had signed our deal with Mercury Records,
Right.
right? And by the time we finished recording Love's Train, which wound up being our second gold album, we were now on a different trajectory than we had ever been in our lives, right? There was a lot of scrambling around and pulling of hair and gnashing our teeth about where are we gonna be? What are we gonna do? How are we gonna get there? Right. And it seemed to me that once we got to that second gold album, things seemed to smooth out,
Mhm.
kind of, right? Yeah, that we now felt like we're on the trajectory that we need to be on. You know,
Okay.
there's a million people out there who know who we are and love us enough to purchase our records,
Mhm.
and people are showing up at our concerts, and they're and for me, it felt like, other than the fact that we knew that we had to keep going to the studio and keep creating hits,
Mhm.
music that people want to hear, that other than that, that we could kind of relax because we knew it was going to be all right. Right now, I'm not saying that we then rested back on our laurels
Right.
and took it easy, because now, of course, the process of recording new material and going into the rehearsal hall and rehearsing this new material, all of that, all that still had to take place. But once we took it out on the road,
Mhm.
right, and started doing the tours, for me, the comfortable part was to go get on the bus after the concert, and we can now just calmly, in a relaxed mode, just drift on down the highway down down to the next concert. I'm playing spades on the bus. It's just enjoying the fruits of everything that
Good
we're
labor.
going for. That, to me, that seemed to be the calmness,
Okay.
the finding it, the chance to go out on the road and tour, and specifically on the bus. That was the relaxing part.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
I remember coming into a hotel room while on the road to a big bouquet of roses and
Uh-oh.
a
Okay.
plaque laying there, and the plaque was like, it was enlarged typewriter type. It was like typewriter font, but it was
Mhm.
enlarged, made into almost like a picture. And it said, "Congratulations on going gold in 6 weeks with Love Train."
Wow.
Our Love Train album was certified in 6 weeks. And I remembered looking at that And I was going, like, really? I sat down and I looked at it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I was going like, I thought to myself, we are legit. We are literally polygram recording artists. Because the first record, Fun, 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 well, that wasn't exactly the first one, it was actually the second record, but no one ever heard of the first. The Fun, Fun, Fun was our number, we went number one, and that could have
Right.
very well been a fluke. That could have just been a, flash. But when the second album came out, and Shake and Dance with Me, when I think about how I actually wrote the song, Shake and Dance with Me, and the pressure I was under to write it, we had to release something before we finished the album because Fun had started getting ready to come down the chart. So we had to come
Right.
up with something else. And I remembered walking down the street and hearing the Archies coming out of somebody's car, the Sugar Sugar, all honey, honey. And I
Uh-huh.
remember that. And we luckily had a TAC recorder on our bus. And I ran to the bus back at the hotel and I used my hands on the guitar for drums and I hammered out Shake and Dance with Me. And then,
Wow.
hey, what can I say? Maybe 4 weeks later, it was a record. It was literally on the radio from me walking off the corner, sitting on the bus, right? And then some kind of way we were in the studio. We were already in the studio at the time, and we wound up cutting that song, mixing that song, and off it went to Chicago. Next thing you know, it's on the radio.
Now that's that inspiration. That's that
Yeah,
inspiration.
I just when you see people say the word, they throw it around all the time. Oh, I'm so blessed. We so blessed. Oh, y'all so blessed. Let me tell y'all something. Confunction for not being like super platinum artists like the Commodores and
Mm-hmm.
Ohio Players and Earth, Wind and Fire, for us never to quite reach that level, but we still here today. We are blessed, man. We are completely blessed. And then I go off and do a solo career with 5 top 10 hits. We are really blessed. So
Of
I look at my
course.
grandkids, and I go, wow, man. y'all, yeah, I got one here now that knows. He knows. He's different from all the rest. He's 6 and he realizes, man, what's up with this dude?
He know you was somebody before you got into the whole grandfather thing. He
Yeah,
knew
yeah.
he
He
know.
was crawling around on the floor, and then now he's 6 years old, and he's like he looking at me like, dude, this is you on the television? That's you up there?
uh,
And he always say, Papa, what happened to your hair? You got hair in this one. How come you got all that hair?
Hey,
Where's your hair?
it's funny you say that because my barber says, "Oh, you're not cutting it low." I said, "You know what?" I said, "I'm 52, and most 52-year-olds don't have hair. So you know what? I'm gonna let it grow. Just fade it on the side a little bit." So I've been letting it grow just the fact because I can. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
I had to kind of get the blessings, kind of understand that that's a blessing. So it's funny that you said that because that's why I hadn't cut it low because the fact I can grow it.
Well, my barber told me I was balding up top and in the back, and he introduced me to the weave. So you process what you got, and then you weave some more in there. And I did that for about 6 months to a year, right? And I walked around in fear
That's
of
about to
somebody
find.
realizing it, right? And I said, you know what? I went in for his touch up one day there. I said, man, you know what? I'm tired. I said, I've always liked Isaac Hayes and Telly Savalas and all them cats. I said, man, go on, cut it off. He said, are you sure? He said, it's gonna be
Hey,
a shock. I said, yeah, but it's going anyway. I'd
hey,
rather I'd rather be Telly Savalas and Isaac
okay.
Hayes than George Kingfish Stevens. You know?
All you needed was a lollipop and just tell them who loves you, baby.
Yeah.
That's all you needed. I just have two more questions for you guys. Um, First, where is either the documentary or the movie for Confunction? Where is it? Where is that? I know it's got to be one of them coming.
Well, one thing for sure, I'm about probably 2/3 done with the book. The name of the book is On Love's Train: The Life, the Love, the Man, the Music. Once
Okay.
I get through it, that book is I'm gonna give it to a screenwriter, and they're gonna go to town. Once just before we publish the book, I know a couple of people. There's a guy by the name of Whitfield. You know him as an actor. What's his name, Felton?
DeAndre?
Larry Whitfield. Larry
Oh, Larry
Whitfield.
Whitfield. Larry Whitfield.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's a character actor. He's in commercials. I think the latest commercial he was in was a Cheerios commercial where his daughter comes in the room and wastes the Cheerios all over him. He laying on the couch, right? He is a character actor, and he has promised as long as he's in the business. He said, "Man,
Okay.
you give me the script, and I'll get it to the hands of the people that can do it." He said, "You make sure you get it to me, or I can get somebody to write it up and put it in context for a movie." So if we can stay alive long enough to get this
Oh
process
Lord.
done.
Man, don't say if.
Oh no,
You
man,
bringing
this
me
is
down and
look at this.
everything now.
It's the world we live in, man. It's the world we
I
live
know.
in.
I know.
I'm in the gym every morning, I'm trying to do my thing, but this world, man, this world,
I know.
I mean, come on, I mean, look what we're trying to survive political, with the politics, man. We're trying to survive and stay afloat, man. We liable to sink again if we go the wrong way with this politics, and then look at the Middle East, right?
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
would have who
That's
would have
why
ever
that's why
believed? Yeah, who would ever believe? So we look in the Middle East, and you look at what's going on, what's happening, and what's happening. So that's where that if comes in,
I
you
got you.
know. And I try my best to stay prayed up and keep on my knees and keep talking to folks like yourself and stay face to face with my wife. And we're always talking about the next step. And then I get into these kids, all these kids. I got a lot of kids, and I got 7 grandkids, two more on the way, 2 great grandkids on the way. And then I got my entire family, could have 2 or 3 of them always going down the wrong road, right? So they come here. I'm the oldest, so they have to hear from Uncle Mike,
Got you.
and Uncle Mike ain't got time to be lying to you, you know. When I show up as Uncle Mike to your house, I need 5 minutes. I need to talk to you.
Got you. Well, that's
And so I'm
don't
not
never stop doing that.
never stop, man. I'll never stop. So that's kind of where I'm at, man. And that's where it said people say you blessed. I am completely and truly blessed.
Well, let me know because I know three to four filmmakers.
Okay.
I've actually interviewed them and I actually have their contact number. So now if you do a documentary, only thing I ask y'all just let me be the interviewer. Let me sit down with y'all again.
I have
Eh,
I have never ever in my life liked documentaries. I think they have their place, and I think that sometimes certain things talked about need to be a documentary and not a film. There's some films that were made that should have been documentaries,
Now
but
that's
no,
true.
I'm
That
talking
you ain't
about an
never lied.
hour and 45 minutes of pure deconfunction. And
Y'all
boy,
might need like 2 nights. Y'all might need like New Edition. Y'all might need about that 2 3 night to catch y'all to evolve. Because I think sometimes Mike and Felton, like some of these, like what you just said, Mike, like some of these biopics, these movies, they done so quick. It's like you just jump. You at like the beginning of the movie, and then they jump. Okay, 6 years later. Like, hold on, I know some stuff happened within them 6 years. Now you don't just jump 6 years later. So sometimes
well,
y'all might need 2 or 3 nights.
I saw you saw the Aretha thing. It was
Yes,
spread out over 8
yes,
episodes. It was done
yes.
very nicely, right? But Aretha is Aretha. I mean, Aretha has you take Aretha and you take Earth Wind and you take Smokey Robinson. Smoke. Can you imagine the Smokey Robinson series, right? All the things Smokey did for people, did for himself, all the stuff he had to go through, and I'm thinking, okay, I think more of a one-time movie for Confunction. We've done
Okay.
our thing. We put our point on the sentence, our period on the sentence. But we don't have that longevity like an Aretha or Smokey or people that go way back to the 50s and 60s. We made a stab and we made a hit between 72. Let's say I think we were signed in 76. We made a stab from 76, 86, 96, 2006, right? 2016, and now here we are in 2024, about 50 years or so. that's a nice time to sit down and write. And I think we can condense that down to about a 2-hour movie and make that work.
If you say so, I'm gonna say you need 2 nights. I'm gonna say you need 2 nights. But
Nah,
it's your look, it's your story, so I can't argue with. It's you and Felton's story, so I can't argue with it. I already know who to play Felton. I already got a person to play Felton. I already know who it
good.
is.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
another thing, man. Now, all these different actors that are coming up, man. Who would play this and who would play that? You know, and we got some characters, man. We got some
The
characters
guy
in
I
both.
could see the guy I
We
could
got
see
two
playing.
confunctions.
I know you got two confunctions. The
Yeah,
guy
you know,
I
you
could
got the
see play
originals,
Felton.
and then you got this one, the present day confunction. So, Felton, can you imagine who we would get to play Lewis McCall? And, who would you get to play Danny Sweetman Thomas?
Right,
You know,
right.
yeah,
Well,
who,
see, I had to start with y'all and then back up. I had to do it like, but the guy that could play you Felton, I would say would be the guy, because I can't pronounce his name, but he played 12 Years a Slave.
Right.
okay,
Daniel somebody.
He
Right, right.
played
Yeah,
the yeah,
right.
you
Yeah, I
know
know
I,
you
I,
guys
I
use
know,
somebody.
I know who we could get to play Lewis.
or or
What's the guy? What's the guy that played? Cooper, Terrence. No, what's his name?
Terrence Howard?
Howard.
Terrence
Howard.
Howard.
Terrence.
Oh
Terrence
Lord.
Howard. Put an afro on Terrence Howard and pull the hairline back.
Pull it
You
back.
got
That's
yourself
that's it.
Lewis McCall.
If it's not Daniel Felton, I got somebody else for you. Actor Robert Warren. I meant Michael
Okay.
Warren. I'm sorry,
Michael Warren.
Michael Warren. He played on Hill Street Blues.
Okay.
Uh, he man, he's been in so much. He's been in so much stuff. But his look, his look is actually how you look now. Bald head, the goatee, like he's
Okay.
already, yeah, brilliant actor. And what I found out when I interviewed him, he was on the championship team with Lou Alcindor. He was on that
Oh,
UCLA. He made a guest appearance also on The White Shadow.
Hmm.
oh,
Okay.
Oh yeah, dude, a brilliant actor. My final question for you guys is, how have you guys stayed together for so long?
Hmm.
other
I
than the grace of God, right? But go ahead, Felton.
I think one of the things that really bonded us together in the early days, right, was the fact that we literally had to depend on each other just for survival. You know,
Okay,
we are once we started working for the Soul Children, we were getting paid $65 a night per man, right? Which
hmm
back in 1972, especially since we were working multiple nights a week, that was reasonable. I mean, we could literally make it work. At one point, Confunction, we began pooling all of our money, and Confunction would cover the costs of food and where we're living, and we would pay ourselves like a small minimal. I'll call it a stipend or salary,
okay,
right?
right.
Now, once we quit the Soul Children and we were determined not to go back to California on less of a pedal than when we left, we're now dependent on each other to survive because none of us were working a 9 to 5 job.
Okay.
Making music was our source of income, and that required all 7 of us working together. And I think that helped create that initial bond of that process of that
Gotcha.
portion of our lives, right?
Gotcha.
The thing that has kept us going now in Confunction 2.0 is the fact that we're still creating the music that our fans want to hear. right? We're constantly listening to the radio for cur- current trends, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people that we like, like uh Michael and I have both tuned to the newcomer, what's his name? October London. Uh got Kevin Ross. I'm a big fan
Kevin
of
Ross. Oh yeah, Kevin Ross is nice. Yeah.
I'm a person. I like Neo, right? And so we're still listening to the radio and paying attention to what's being played. And just like the musicians that I described to you earlier
Mm-hmm.
uh, in the interview, that now is becoming part of our vocal, not vocal, our musical vocabulary. So we're
Gotcha.
able to, at this point, still absorb what's going on in today's music, but then we internalize it, right? So that now becomes a part of what I'm creating nowadays. And I'm still, of course, I'm remembering all the stuff that we've done for the 10 albums that we've done, all the
Right.
stuff that we know our fan base appreciates, so we can incorporate new stuff with the stuff that we've always been doing.
Brilliant.
And so we've um between the last album that we did and the current album that we're working on now, I think we have managed to create that very workable balance of what we are relatively confident what our audience wants to hear with new stuff that we want to introduce them to.
Got you. Got you.
Yep, I
Where's
agree.
where's before you came on, Michael, he told me to go listen to the Smooth, and I was listening to it just before you came on. So I'm gonna get into it, and y'all let me know, man, when y'all get ready to come back to the ATL, man. I like to see you guys and meet you guys.
If
because I'm a
if
fan.
you
I'm a
have a
fan of you.
chance, if you have a chance, go to confunctionusa.com or confunctionlive.com, and we'll be at the Maple House. Coming back to the Maple House,
When when when
Mapleton.
it- when is that? When is that?
Yeah, and it's funny. I would love to be able to tell you, but just like anybody else, I got to go to my own website to find out where we at. That's why I say. That's why I say, young man, can you
Can
just
can
go to Confunction
can
Live
I get
and
four?
use
Can I
the
get four? Can I get four?
yeah yeah
Can I
yeah.
can I get four? Can I get four?
No
Come
problem.
on,
No
come on,
problem.
family. Can I
Bro,
get four?
there you go.
Cause you can sit at the table this time. You ain't gotta move. You ain't
Oh,
gotta you can stay at the table this time, man.
okay.
Come on, fella. Last cause fella, they would ask you who you with, where you supposed to be, and all this. I remember they were giving you a little static.
All
All
right.
right.
But
Uh,
thank you. Go ahead.
hold on. And
Mm.
so, Otis, through our mutual connections here, you let me know when you come out to the house here in Marietta and get your free keyboard lesson.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, okay. I will do that. I will do that.
All right.
I will let her know. And
All
thank
right.
you guys for blessing me with this interview, blessing me with your presence. Stay safe and continue much success. And you guys are a treasure to us, and we love you.
Love you, too, man. Thanks so much for having us.
Peace.